So what are you doing? Are you running around? Are you riding your bike or just chilling?
I'm just taking it easy. I did a lot of traveling last week. They had the Bret Hart appreciation night here last week in Calgary on Raw, and that was a big day. And then they made it actually Bret Hart Day here in Calgary. And other than that, I've just been taking it easy. I was in Hawaii before that. I got a place down there that I try to spend that kind of May and I don't like May up here. May's the worst month of the year up here. It's like worse than January.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about the Bret Hart Appreciation Day. How was that for you? You go back into the locker room. How long were you actually in WWE total time?
Well, I was there 14 straight years.
14 straight years. You go down to WCW. You retire. You've been back, several times since. But you go back in for Bret Hart Appreciation Day. And how's that locker room? How's the feel and how's the atmosphere?
I have nothing but respect for all of them. I mean, it's a different kind of group of kids. I call them kids now because I guess that's what they are. And they're so much, they're smaller, they're better athletes, and some of them are just amazing. It's amazing with like some of them like Daniel Bryan and Punk and some of these guys. Some of the stuff that they're doing is like, it just amazes me how they can take it another couple of inches further all the time. There's always somebody taking wrestling another over the boundaries and making it good again. And there's a lot of really good talent out there. I love watching the wrestlers today.
Well, to your point, things kind of keep evolving, just like the game of football has. How often are you able to watch Monday Night Raw these days and stay on top of the current storylines, angles, and everything they've got going?
Here and there, off and on. I mean, I found the last few months I've been watching it pretty close. I try to watch it. When I find that it starts going to too much backstage stuff and too many hokey storylines, I sort of fade off. But usually I go back and check it out again. There's certain guys, especially like second generation guys, like my own nieces and nephews, like Harry and Bulldog's kid and Natalia Neidhart and Kurt Hennig's kid and this guy's kid and Randy Orton. And I know all of them. I knew a lot of them when they were kids. And I kind of always root for the second generation wrestlers, just haven't been one myself, or even the third generation wrestlers. I just think they understand it from a whole different perspective.
It's kind of like obviously they've grown up in the system. Do you feel like gives being second generation gives those kids an advantage?
Oh yeah, it gives them just watching it. I think I don't know that I was ever the greatest student in school, but I think that the real truth of it is I was a student of wrestling. Like when I got out of school, I wasn't worried about my math, but when I went to the wrestling matches that night from selling programs when I was a little kid for my dad, after I finished selling all my programs, I could sit right at the timekeeper table, and I'd be watching Lou Thesz wrestling Gene Kiniski, and I'd seen the best in the world right up close and studying it and watching it and going, those guys are good. I knew the good wrestlers from the bad ones. I knew the guys that when guys came across to me as fake or just didn't look very real or didn't look like they took it serious, it came across instantly to me. And I think as a young kid, I understood wrestling. I think when I got into it, and I didn't know how exactly it worked, but I knew I had some ideas on it, always, I think, as a kid. And when they finally do break you in and tell you that, okay, this is how it works, usually they break you in to referee. It's not such a big shock. You kind of go, okay, I kind of knew anyway.